Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to another video. It's Saturday morning and I'm on my own today, so I've come out to do a few little bits myself. I just want to sort of just complete the last bits of the steel work today. So what we're going to do is bolt the steels to the walls. I've got to tighten up these bolts as well, and I'm going to try and do some bricklaying above the steels to just secure the house again, so we can eventually get our acros out. So I'm just going to quickly just go and show you guys what I'm going to do. So one of the first jobs I've got to do is drill these and anchor these fixings into the wall. I'm going to be using chemical bond, which is this product here. You guys might have seen me use this in the past before, raw plug. And basically it's a two-part chemical that's in here. You put your nozzle on, which you can see it's got some two pathways in there. Once you squeeze it out, the two chemicals mix together when they get out the nozzle, and they form a chemical bond, very, very strong. And then once I squeeze that into the hole after I've drilled it, I push these right in and then let it set. Once it's set, put a washer, tighten these up, and then we're good to go. All right, also what I've got to do as well, guys, we can see here just on top of the steel, this is our wall plate. We've got about a 10mm gap here. I need to pack all the way under this wall plate with cement. So I'll be doing that, and then I'm going to try and do these 2 courses of brickwork here, obviously leaving out the gap where the acros are until the acros set. I think someone was asking about a lintel. I think you might have been talking about this. This is just a piece of batten that was there from the old roof that was there. So this isn't a lintel, this is coming off. And yeah, just got the brickwork underneath all the way down there. I know there's been lots of discussion about the steels and design of the steels. I, for one, I'm not going to pretend to know, to act like I know about steel design much, at least not like an engineer would anyway. But people were asking about the bolts, and it's hanging off from the bolts and whether that's strong enough. Also, something to bear in mind, it's not just hanging off the bolts, it's also hanging off the welds, if you really want to look at it that way, because obviously the end plate is welded to this vertical steel. So these things are designed, the drawing's very specific on the size of the welds, the size of the bolts, the tensile strength of the bolts. I think these are 8.8 M24s, and from my understanding, these things can probably carry 2 of these houses. So I don't really think there's any issue there. As I said, I've seen box frames online, looking at pictures and stuff when I was doing my research on how I was going to get these in, and I saw loads of pictures of box frames designed exactly like this with the bolts on the inside. Also, lots of steels are designed where they bolt and hang off the sides, even with big, huge constructions. If you look around, you'll probably notice that not a lot of the time, or not all the time, do the horizontals sit on the verticals. There's got to be a reason why it's done this way. Even when we did the steels here, if you guys remember, when we did the steels here, we had a steel running across here, and then we had 2 steels bolted off it this way. So again, they're sort of hanging off the bolts rather than one sitting on top of the other. We might assume that it kind of makes sense, but it only makes sense if you know more about the design and the properties of these materials and so on and so on. So as I said, we just go by what's on the drawings, and also the drawings get passed to building control before we start the job. And I think if they had any questions on that, they would have brought it up to the architect or the engineer at that time. So yeah, I think we're good for that. So I'm going to drill and bolt up these, and then I'm going to do a mix and start sorting up the top of these bricks here. Okay guys, so that is the first bit done, packed up underneath the wall plate, as you can see, all the way down here, running right back down that way, right down to the end. So that now is supporting the pretty much inner leaf of the house. So now is to sort out the brickwork. I'm going to clean up some of this mortar, a couple of bricks that are a little bit loose as well here, sort that out, then we can brick it up. Alright guys, so that's it for today. I managed to get it done. As you can see, I have bricked up pretty much most of the areas that I could do. The only parts that I'm missing is where the acros are. Once the acros are taken out, then I can do those bits. I also did a bit of pointing underneath the window, raked that out and repointed because it was quite bad in that area, just to give more strength. But the roof's going to be covering most of that area anyway, so you're hardly going to see any of that brickwork. But otherwise, job done here. Alright guys, so that's it then. We're just waiting now for our steel inspection, which I'll book that tonight, and once we get the okay to go ahead, then we are basically ready to continue. So yeah, also I did get the steels bolted as well up to the walls as well on both sides, so as you can see they're resined in, tightened up, so we're ready to go. So yeah, it's looking good. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video today guys, and have a great weekend, and I'll see you guys soon.